I'd like to submit a substitute motion, to go ahead and move forward with the recommendation from staff to approve these items as they've been presented to us tonight. And the reason for that is because these are agreements that are already legally binding as of December. So I want to go ahead and do this, protect the city, correct whatever details we want to correct in moving forward. And that's my motion, is to...
Right. Okay, so there's a substitute motion which supersedes the previous motion by Councilmember Cruz-Baca and then seconded by Councilmember Susan Rubio, and then seconded by Councilmember Cruz-Baca. The substitute motion by Councilmember Monica Garcia. Is there a second? The second by Vice Mayor.
I second. Ricardo Pacheco.
Okay, second. Any objections?
Yes.
Okay, well, objections. So at this point, I will ask our City Treasurer, Maria Contreras, or City Clerk Alejandra Avila, that will conduct the vote. All right, so this, all right, thank you. This is for the substitute motion by Councilmember Monica Garcia to move ahead.
That is correct. Councilmember Monica Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz-Baca?
No.
Councilmember Rubio?
No, but I want to state for the record that I oppose the lifetime contract. I oppose the monopoly. I oppose the city and the taxpayers paying for a legal counsel to represent this outside company, and that is why I absolutely say no. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you.
Mayor Lozano?
Yes, okay, the motion passes 3-2.
Okay, I have some questions as well.
Point, yes, Councilmember Susan Rubio.
Okay, so, and I agree with Councilmember Garcia that these contracts were approved in December, and I believe that they all should stand because we did approve them. However, this one in particular is illegal, and that the state does not allow monopolies, number one, or in perpetuity. And again, that means that we could all be gone, and years from now, they'll continue to have the license because there's no provision there that we can revoke the license. So I just want to ask the legal counsel a couple of questions. Did the original contract have given them the right to have this contract in perpetuity?
Yes.
I believe that's correct.
Is this contract a monopoly? That means that we are forcing 14 other companies to use this company.
I would not use the word monopoly, but we are forcing the 14 other companies to use this company.
Is this contract the only contract that could change hands? That means that we lose control over who they transfer it to at any given time.
I believe that's correct.
Is it your professional opinion that a court would find the in perpetuity monopoly, or as you put it, forcing other companies to use this company? Is it your professional opinion that the perpetuity clause would stand in a court of law?
The perpetuity clause has been changed in this particular development agreement. So the development agreement you have before you right now is for 49 years with additional renewals. And I believe that would stand in the court of law.
So the original contract that was given was illegal because it was in perpetuity, it was a monopoly, and we are giving this person the ability to transfer a license. The alcohol license or permit can never be transferred because it's such a sensitive thing for our community. Any person that may be a bad actor can get a hold of that license and be using it inappropriately. Why are we giving this company the ability to transfer the license without council control? I'm not sure that our residents out there would want to know that there's...
Originally, as you know, I had voted for this particular company to come in. But in consideration of some of the legal problems that we're facing, I think that we should hold off with this and not let the other 14 people pay the consequences for something that was done by this other company. I think we should hold off and see what happens with the lawsuit and then come back and reconsider. I think that there's a lot of things that we need to consider. There are some, I would like for staff to take a good look at some of the measurements that Mr. Tuttle did. And see, I know those buildings, some of them, and I have voiced some of the questions. The cultivation elevation that's across the street from the teen center, near the high school, near some of the residences. Some of the ones in the north part of Baldwin Park, which I consider the north part of Baldwin Park, which are on Arrow Highway, I think that we really need to look very closely and take a look at this particular company and say, why are we making exceptions when these other companies have had to comply? The lawsuit concerns me. It really does. I read it very carefully last night when I saw it, and now we've got a copy here on our desks. And I really do think that we need to consider that and not walk into another situation where the city is going to be responsible.
Mayor,
Richard, how you doing, my friend? I'm one of many people who are watching you and your actions as a council member for the city of Baldwin Park. I want to let you know that we know that you have agreed to accept a bribe for a very significant amount of money to be paid to you tomorrow. After the vote that you made today in favor of an exclusive cannabis distribution license for Rukli Incorporated, we know that Roger Hernandez has been demanding the exclusive for Rukli and that he is a part owner of the Rukli company. We know that Roger Hernandez has had several conversations with you, your city attorney, and that the city attorney is involved in trying to help Mr. Hernandez, who is going to get the exclusive approved. We know that Roger Hernandez has threatened you if you do not approve the exclusive and is involved in the bribe agreement with you. We know that Roger Hernandez has threatened you. We also know that you have a schedule to approve the exclusive, which you did tonight, and you're expecting to get paid tomorrow. Does any of this sound familiar or true to you? Yes? No? You get a simple nod or word? I think your answer will be yes. I'll send you a copy of my email to the district attorney's office so that you know exactly what will happen next. I want you to see it all coming down, step by step. When you look back on it in the future, you will know that this moment is when you destroyed yourself. You're more afraid of Roger than what will happen to you if you get caught. I personally hope that you do. I can't wait to see you in the pictures in the newspaper. You really thought you could get away with it, and I'm telling you that. Right? Look at that smile, guy. Smile of a guilty person right there. You should be ashamed of yourself.
All right, thank you. We'll allow with public communication. Anyone else wishes to speak? Okay, if not, I'll now declare the public communication closed. All right, council members?
Greg Tuttle, business owner. I'd like to state that I drove around with Mr. Rios on Sunday. We took pictures. You all have pamphlets there, pictures.
Yes.
We did with a tape measure with a stick, walk the footage and everything else. Out of the 15 places, 13 are disqualified, 2 only qualified. Now then, when you have a public hearing and the 600-foot radius is what you're going after, why are you only serving property owners within a 300-foot radius when you have a 600-foot radius? Now then, why is residents put under the emergency ordinance in December of last year for the 50 feet on residents when it should be at 600? It's a sensitive area as claimed by the state. Also, the distributor and the manufacturer growers have to be the same distance. It's on their applications, which I have here with me, because you say we never bring proof. The proof is here in the pudding. The Roger Hernandez deal, I can confirm some of this. I had a 6-hour meeting with this guy before the Rukli deal was done and all this. And I understand a lot of corruption was in with the city attorney's office. I understand that a lot of, there was an Isaac Galvin there all the time. I understand there was meetings at several of the high fancy steakhouses. I understand the city manager had nothing to do with these meetings. It was all held at the city attorney's office. Very convenient. I also understand about a burner phone that Robert Tafoya has for Pacheco, so that they don't get too many calls, because I've been trying to get the phone call records and Just doesn't seem to happen. I don't know why. You know, and these weed guys come in here, the city never did a walk down. What they did was send code enforcement out to see if these buildings qualified as a building, and it was met up to code. And on several of them, like Royal Coaches, was cited. You've got buildings over there, Royal Coaches, you want to approve that you're putting in that condo thing right next door. Now you want to approve Royal Coaches deal. Well, we know the buddy deal. Roger got them a buddy deal with the Toke thing. Roger's running Monica's campaign. Roger got Rukli to give $10,000 to Taylor to get Pacheco a job as assistant manager over at the Rialto Water Board. Good job, Pacheco. The corruption just never stops in this city. How's your new car doing? Did the weed growers pay for that too? You haven't told us yet on that one. So we see that there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of stuff going down, and we're going to expose it, and it's going to get ugly as it goes.